Hey everybody, welcome back to the land of low friction. Hope you've had a great week. And yeah, now I know I say this every week, but I reckon today might actually be a short video for me. Would you believe that once again I have had no time to prep, so I have just no bandwidth at all to try to go into a deep dive topic, and not much time to record. So I'm mostly going to be ripping through just some very fast low friction news updates. And then a quick chat about the launch this week of Silca's new speed chip and endurance chip, because we're really, I guess that's now pushing things further into the era of tuning our immersive waxes. So it's something that's sort of been there. It started a little bit with, I think, really with Rex Black Diamond, but now things are taking a bigger step that way. So yeah, I'll try to help with any of your initial thoughts and questions about this launch and what we'll be doing with regards to testing and information, hopefully fairly soon. All right, let's get into things. Alrighty, so quick fire ones. So I sent another email to the boss at Finish Line, just to remind to say I'm ready whenever you are to have that chat about the Halo results and also to answer any questions that he has with regards to the ZFC testing. So, yep, we'll keep on that. SRAM and their 0.8% chain wear recommendation. We are getting close to having that call. So I got another email during the week to say that they should have a time proposal soon as to when we can have that meeting. It really does seem like about 16 people on 3 different levels have to sort of sign off a process to get a meeting organized, but we're getting there, apparently. My apologies, last week I didn't quite link the correct video, or the video that I wanted to link with regards to the Reginald Scot versus Hambini situation and the argument over bearing puller versus hammer and punch as to how to properly remove your bearings from your hub. So I will link the correct one, which is the one that really wraps up the situation extremely well, and where Reginald proves somebody rather conclusively very incorrect, and also highlighting some rather, I guess, concerning depths that one is willing to go to try to defend an indefensible position. And it just leads in really well it's a great entree as to, when I get to cover the, let's just call it, situation from way back between Mr. H and myself and the questions I asked and how all that went. Yeah, it's just a perfect lead in, I think. So if you get a chance, have a watch of that just for your own mental preparation as to how things can go and why. And alrighty. Okay, the chain lubrication and low friction world is abuzz this week with Silca releasing 2 specific additives for their hot melt wax. So one is the speed chip, so making the wax faster but at the cost of treatment lifespan, and the endurance chip, so much longer wax treatment longevity but at the cost of a little bit of speed. Alrighty, I am going to put a couple of links in my video description to the 2 Silca videos so far on these fancy new additives. So one is the launch of the products, the other is going through the initial questions to them that have come in. I'm just going to be going through the quick Cliff Notes version here. Basically, obviously you have speed chip and an endurance chip that you add to your wax. So one of the things we can tell straight up is that they are working with basically a 250 gram wax ratio, which is kind of the nice amount of wax that goes into the temperature control Silca pot. So just factor that in if you are using hot melt with a larger pot and typically put the entire bag in. Looks like this is the Australian pricing. So in Aussie dollars, we're looking at 49 AUD for each one, whether it's speed chip or endurance chip. So, as expected, not cheap. So adding 1 speed chip, or to go really fast, adding 2 speed chips is going to make your hot melt wax a fairly expensive blend. If you're adding basically $100 of additive into 250 grams of wax, that really is a sort of race day time trial type wax. Silca do have a lovely little data graph here though, so we can see. Now, I'm going to assume at the moment that this graph is one chip, because it's not stating that they've put two chips in here in the 250 grams. But we've got a green line here in the middle, which is hot melt as is, and the chain efficiency and how long that chain efficiency is holding. The blue line is, we can see that there is an increase in the chain efficiency when you add the speed chip, however, with a hit to the wax treatment longevity. And the endurance chip additive, a little bit of a hit to the to the wax efficiency, however, giving you a big kick in wax treatment longevity. Right, so now Silca aren't the first to, I guess, offer the ability to, tune or optimize your wax. Cyclowax have since their start some years ago offered a base wax tablet and a pro wax tablet, and it's not explicitly marketed that you can tune it, but obviously you can tune your blend just by getting a variety of those. Rex also, that we do a lot of testing for, came to market with their, box with 11 base wax blocks and a modifier block. We ended up doing a lot of testing really just on all 11 base blocks and the mod block versus a high concentration blend of 4 base blocks and the mod block. So there were some clear differences between those two blends there. And they do offer that mod block separately, so that if you are going for the high concentration mix and do the 1:4 base block ratio, your leftover blocks or base blocks, you only then need to buy the mod block to make yourself another batch of that. So that's all been very groovy. So yeah, wax tuning to a fun degree has already been out for some time now. But as opposed to, I guess, just playing with ratios of the same base and modifier, this is taking things to that next new level now, where you are permanently changing the wax in a particular direction, be it for more efficiency or greater treatment longevity, by putting a specific additive into their already established hot melt wax. Right, so initial thoughts from, I guess, the product launch and the initial FAQs that Silcavello or Josh run through. This may come as no surprise, but I love this kind of product coming out. It's been great to see over the 8 years that I've been in the zero friction cycling space, immersive waxing going from really niche to now really knocking on the door of being very mainstream. And the more products that enable a cyclist to choose an immersive wax that really suits what they're looking for, be that outright speed, be it endurance for going long or training, or really one of each for, here's my wax pot for training, for my training chain, and here is my race wax pot for race day and time trials. All of that kind of stuff, I think, is just moving immersive waxing in an ever better and more appealing direction for more cyclists. We have about 48,000 different options for drip lubricants. The bicycle chain lubricant space is so crowded and confusing, and it's such a lottery for most cyclists as to what they're choosing to run on their chain, in the drip lubricant space, from what their bike store is trying to sell them or online marketing. And obviously, there's a big part of why we do the testing that we do, to try to help with that choice. But in the immersive wax space, it's far from a confusing area yet, and I think we're a very long way away from getting to a product lineup in the immersive wax space that is confusing like it is in the drip lubricant space. So at the moment, just moving product options like this in this direction, I really, really enjoy, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be some fun coming up with testing, which is the next little touch point. So both speed chip and endurance chip are en route for me to test, and I'm not expecting surprises. Again, I've been testing Silca products for a long time. Silca have their own very fancy testing as well, and it is very, very rare that we have much misalignment in my test results versus Silca test results. However, they do need to be tested, as we, sort of saw with, Hot Wax X. Hot Wax X was not a product I ever stocked and recommended due to A, the break-in, and B, it was not as high in the wet contamination blocks or wet test blocks as I wanted a product to be that was that price for that amount of wax. I was not comfortable selling circa $250 for 300 gram wax that wasn't just a picture of perfection across all aspects. So there can be things like that, but for these particular, I guess, additives, I don't think we'll get any sort of negative surprises, but obviously we'll be putting them through the paces as soon as I can. On that front, testing workload at the moment is I am buried. So I've been very desperately trying to dig my way out a bit since I had a bit of backlog when I was back from my USA trip. But the amount of sort of testing booked and test requests is well exceeding my ability to progress through the testing, because each test just does take so long. Like literally a high-performing immersive wax test where we're doing the main test and the 3 single application longevity tests, that can tie up a machine for 3 to 4 months. It is just so much runtime and so many points of intervention for either obviously re-waxing, adding contamination, and check measuring and so on. And then obviously after each test, it takes a bit of time, or it's a bit of a block to reset machines and calibrate and go again. So I'm at the stage now, so a little bit of a ramble, but some of the manufacturers that I have been testing a lot for over the last few years, we're trying to kind of get them to have their own test machine. So we've got 2 manufacturers that have already kind of gone that path. And I just need some more. It's not a big capital expenditure at all. Like it's about sort of $4,000 to build up a test machine exactly the same as what I have, because you're at the end of the day just industrially motorizing a smart trainer. So for a lot of the manufacturers in the space, that's not really a big spend. The biggest spend is the staff time. You need basically a staff member obviously to pay to then run the testing. So there's some cost there, but what we need to get to is, because we're really exceeding my capacity for a lot of the manufacturers to test, base sample A, base sample B, base sample B, then with X additive and ratio 1 and ratio 2 and ratio 3. We're just doing so many testing tests for products in development. It's great in the way that we get to see, for some of the manufacturers, a product that started, here, and then final product that is the one that gets locked into production is now an absolutely outstanding product. But it takes just so much, test time to get it from one place to another. It can be literally sometimes a machine can be locked up by a manufacturer for a year and a half straight. So I've only got 3 machines and 1 of me. So it is getting a bit, beyond my capacity, and I need to try to help some manufacturers get their own testing so I can skip straight to when they have it nailed in their own testing. I can just test the absolutely rocking product that they have, and hopefully my independent verification is a great match for what they have developed their way to in-house. And so we see, I guess in this case, I get to test the final, I guess, fruits of Silca's labor. They've been working on this for a long time, and they have their own, very high level in-house testing. When we get more manufacturers kind of on that path, so that I can test the final outcome, as opposed to being involved in, such a long part of the development, that will free my test resources up a lot to do a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to be doing. So it is the eternal balance. Like for instance, I'd love to be doing the tests for the different types of chain maintenance. I'd love to be testing and putting up there in data the recommended approach we have of the combo approach, where you immersive wax, relube the next circa 5 times with a compatible wax strip, and then re-wax to reset. I would love to just get that test done and have the data up there that we can all see, what difference shows up between immersive waxing all the time versus wax strip all the time. A whole lot of stuff I'd love to be doing off that to-do list I sort of ran through when I got back from America. So there's that balance with it is hard to, sort of turn back, manufacturers, especially ones I've been working with for a long time. that are genuinely investing and working really hard to bring great products to market and kind of need that independent testing at the moment, there's just not really a lot of options for them to go to if I'm not doing that. So yeah, that's the eternal sort of, just resources struggle that I have at the moment. And I am working to try to get that balance better by hopefully getting some more manufacturers to, just make that investment and get their testing brought in-house more and sending me the final outcome, as opposed to locking up for so long during development. So in this case, even when I get the speed chip and the endurance chips, to put both of those through the main test and both of through the suite of 3 single application longevity tests, that's going to be probably 6 months on a machine. So it's a bit, but I will get through them from when they arrive as quickly as I can get a machine free. I will get cracking and obviously be updating as we go. And just hopefully that all still helps some understand as to why I can't test your lanolin, paraffin, beeswax, xylene, PTFE, WS2 graphene blend. We're busy. The DIY wax front is just not on the picture, even though I still get a lot of requests for everybody's blend out there in the world. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what certain areas of the market do. So not just, I guess, market in terms of consumers. So what's the take up and popularity of this product? There's always, I think, a bit of an initial good rush, but longer term will, the cost of these particular additives be a barrier or not? But I'm going to be really interested to see what other key competitors to Silca in the immersive waxing space may or may not do. Will they bring out their own similar additives to sort of, follow this particular wax tuning or wax optimization path? And there's also, I guess, an area that I think hasn't been delved into yet, because maybe the manufacturers are waiting to see if the immersive wax market is ready to take that step. But will there be, I guess, tuning of wax blends due to temperature? So, we already do get the, the occasional feedback and questions, and just, I guess we know that in very cold temps, that initial wax break-in can be a bit of fun for just your standard blends for, say, hot melt and M-speed wax and Rex and so on. Just, when it's below freezing, the wax is a bit harder. It takes longer for the excess to get pressed out. It takes longer for those surfaces to sort of really polish up and free up. So in normal temps, what is an easy sort of 5 to 10 minute break-in period before you can't really notice that there's any drag from your fresh wax chain, can be 45 minutes to an hour if it's below freezing. The speed chip may already do that to a point, and this is something I guess one of the questions I'll be posing to Josh is, does it make the wax behave in a way that break-in period is lesser and easier in cold temperatures? However, as speed chip does come with a bit of a, I guess, treatment longevity hit, that's potentially still not what somebody is going to be looking for when they're training or commuting in really, sort of through very cold seasons. So will there be, for instance, a wax additive, chip that comes out that is specifically aimed for very cold winter demographics, that makes the wax super easy to break in, but still gives it outstanding longevity, treatment-wise, and also in wet conditions. So that's something that I don't think is really yet out on the market. So in line with that, another clarification for Josh will be, does the endurance chip increase the break-in time, especially if it's cold weather? So there'll be a couple of clarifications for me to loop back to hopefully next week. So I do know a little bit, obviously, as to what some competitors are working on because of what they're testing with me. But overall, I think the next, say, 6 to 12 months, it's going to be quite interesting to see if we get any direct competition to Silca's speed and endurance chips, or if there are some different type focused chips that come to market in time. Just touching on the DIY front, it'll be very interesting if another channel that's, I guess, very well known for DIY immersive waxing. We did see after the Silca released the strip chip for degreasing the factory grease off the chain, that there was a DIY version of adding sort of cooking oil converter sachets to your immersive wax. So that was a bit of fun. Wonder what may come out as a DIY speed chip and endurance chip. I am sure there will be something, so we'll keep an eye out for that. I guess another one that's on my mind is who will be the first manufacturer to release a double pot, or perhaps even triple pot. You can get triple slow cooker pots, but none of them that I've seen are temperature control. Actually, I take that back. There was a Kogan instant pot or Instapot that was a dual pot and temperature control, but I haven't been able to find them for a while. But yeah, will the likes of say Silca, they already have their little pot set up at the moment. Will they go to a double so that you can have a speed pot for your race chain and a normal hot melt pot and or endurance pot? Or will other players out there be the first to try to look at doing that? Like Cyclowax are also quite progressive, and they were the first to have that fun little pot and swisher hanging stand set up. So it's going to be interesting to see if anyone moves on that. But so yeah, that's just my, I guess, initial thoughts on the fun product launch. For really the actual details and the main questions, refer to those Silca vids that I'll link in this video description. I will probably do my own sort of questions and answers a bit further down the track. So I'd love to see your comments and questions first before I sort of delve into those, because I think me running through what Silca have already covered won't be the best use of your time anyway. I guess one just initial question that you may have that won't be covered in the Silca one. So M Speed Wax did confirm relatively soon after the strip chip release that there will be no issues using strip chip with M Speed Wax as well to degrease the your new chain. M Speed Wax have already written to me to advise that there'd be no issues at all using either speed chip or endurance chip with their wax. However, obviously Silca will run a narrative, and that's entirely expected of them to do so. That they can't guarantee that their claimed performance improvements, either be it in the speed direction or the endurance direction, would be the same with another brand's wax as what they have tested with their wax, because obviously their wax base is it's a blend of 4 waxes plus their own sort of additives to the standard hot melt. And that the speed and endurance chips are designed to work specifically with their wax blend. So results may certainly vary if you are using those with a different wax blend. However, that being said, M Speed Wax will have advised that there should be 0 issues, and there should be things follow similar trends by using those products with their wax blend as well. Once I have tested the full battery of tests with Silca, I will then try to get to testing them with M Speed Wax. And again, I cannot test for outright efficiency. The ZSC test is a wear correlation test. But if, say, for instance, with the endurance chip, if I see a very similar extension in treatment lifespan with M Speed Wax as we do with Silca before the treatment gives out, then we could loosely say that, ballpark performance area, we're seeing a great change in the same way. If we see a similar, decline in treatment wear life with M Speed Wax as we see with hot melt, then again, we're having to loosely draw a conclusion that there's been a trend in the speed direction, hopefully as well with M Speed Wax. But it's going off that, a wear-based correlation. We can't give you that outright. Yes, we saw a 0.6%, increase in efficiency. But that's going to be a whole bunch of extra testing after I've done the testing for Silca. So that'll be on the list. But that's just the official word from M Speed Wax at this time. All right, that'll do. If I say goodbye quickly enough, this video will be under 25 minutes. So thank you for watching. Goodbye. Have a great weekend, and please subscribe.